before you watch this video, make sure that you've checked out my new Chainsaw Man Episode 1 review video that I released just a mere hours before this one. I'm not sure how any of us can concentrate right now after just experiencing one of the most life-changing events of our entire lives. The Chainsaw Man riding is incredible right now. But we're gonna have to get our together and talk about Chainsaw Man Chapter 106 because the Chainsaw Man train has no brakes. So today we're going to talk about the impending fight between Yoru and Yuko and the potential story implications this fight will have in the future, and we're also going to talk about some of Yoru's behaviors towards Asa at the beginning of this chapter. But first, class is once again in session. I've linked the poll at the top of the description of this video where you guys can vote on what grade you think this chapter of Chainsaw Man should get. A, B, C, D, or F. And in next week's video, we're going to go over the overall chapter GPA of this chapter, as well as some of your comments on this video. Speaking of which, let's just quickly go over your guys' thoughts on Chapter 105. After crunching some numbers, I think about 300 people participated in this poll, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. We get a GPA of 3.83. I can't just keep saying it, but it's that good. It is that good. I don't even think there's any bias here. I think anyone reading this would be able to see that this is peak fiction. So yeah, 3.83 is the chapter GPA, but now let's look at some of your guys' comments. I usually have this prepared before I start filming, but I'm just going to look through now and choose some. Daystrifer says, I'm curious what the Justice Devil is asking for in these contracts. I hope that's something that's revealed and not just, like, a literary device that pushes the plot forward, because it seems like there should be something more and mysterious going on about this. Goat Luffy 97 says, no matter how many times Fujimoto breaks my ankles, I never see it coming. I would also agree with that statement. And after this chapter as well, I feel like my ankles continue to be broken. Mr. Yoshi LP says, I'ma bet the Justice Devil is going to have a scale or blindfold. You know what? I don't remember if any of those elements were in the Justice Devil design that we just got this chapter, but I'm going to look at that again just to see if that ends up happening, because that would be fantastic thematically. So, once again, goated comment from Mr. Yoshi. That's about all for the comments this week. Thank you guys so much if you commented. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below on this video for Chapter 106, and maybe we'll talk about it at the beginning of next week's video as well. And while you're down in the description commenting or checking out the voting link, why don't you leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel? It helps me out a lot, and I also put out a lot of Chainsaw Man themed content. And for the love of God, follow me on Twitter, please. Do you guys understand how thirsty I am for Twitter interactions? I need you guys to validate every mundane thought I spew into the abyss. Okay, now that we've got that all squared away, let's just jump into the review. So let's just start off in chronological order from what happened. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about how much of a chunibyo Yoru is, but I've also tried to make it a point to highlight that Yoru is still a devil and inherently wants what's worst for humanity. Last week, we even talked about how any one of Yoru's tantrums that Asa can't get under control could end up having catastrophic consequences. And I think that's potentially what we're about to see right now. In a moment where Asa wasn't able to keep Yoru in check, Yoru takes over Asa's body and tells her that she's not going to give her body back until she's finished killing Yuko. And honestly, that's pretty cruel of her. Even though we all love Yoru and we want to emphasize with her human-like personality traits that we can relate to, she's just too resolute in her convictions as a devil. Maybe she's growing to like Asa, and maybe she's growing to enjoy her life in the human world, but the golden opportunity to get a sparkly, new, powerful weapon and confront Chainsaw Man at the same time is too good for her to turn down. Not that a single monicum of her would have turned it down in the first place. She's a huge toddler that wants what she wants when she wants it. Now it's time to get into the real meat of the story and what this chapter was all about: Yuko's sinister turn to go to school and kill all of Asa's bullies. Part of me wonders if Yoru stood up to Yuko at the school because there's a part of her that is good and she wants to protect the students. But after what we just talked about, that's just the part of me that relates to her cringe and really wants her to be good deep down. But the real important character in this debacle is Yuko. I could see this potentially being the end for Yuko in this story because it would be the perfect way for Yoru to acquire a sparkly new weapon filled with shame from Asa. It would also move the plot forward to more interactions between Denji and Asa because that seems to be where the story wants to move. But it's hard to say what's gonna happen because this could be anyone's fight. What would be really funny to me is if Yoru gets her ass kicked again and has to be saved by Chainsaw Man, leading to another pillow beating tantrum, because I know that's what we all want. Yoru's beaten down the Justice Devil once before, so with that being the case, why would the Justice Devil show itself to Yoru once again? That is, unless the Justice Devil actually has a strategy or something that it can use to defeat Yoru. Because to me, just saying that I know what your next move is gonna be, I know what you're thinking, it was all according to Keikaku, it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't think that's what it's gonna be. I don't know, I just don't see this being as one-sided a fight as it was last time. Part of me does wonder if Yuko sees Yoru as one of Asa's bullies and wants to deal with her as well, but then there's the stipulation, if you kill Yoru, you also kill Asa. But aside from all of this, I'm left with one main question. Is Tatsuki Fujimoto really willing to cross that line and have Yuko kill Asa's bullies while they're in school? Obviously, this is a work of fiction, and I don't have any reservations about dark themes being used in works of fiction, but it would certainly create quite a bit of controversy around Fujimoto, especially here in the US where stuff like, you know, school shootings happen incredibly frequently, unfortunately. Moving on from the potential controversy, I really don't like talking about controversy. I feel like it's putting my hand on a white-hot stove. Doesn't it seem interesting to anyone else that the Justice Devil uses its human host to turn into its devil form like it's some kind of hybrid? I can't recall any devil contracts from part 1 off the top of my head that do anything like that. I'm wondering if there's some kind of secret or stipulation with the Justice Devil that allows it to do something like that. I don't know if you guys have any ideas, if you want to leave it down in the comments below, or maybe this is just a writing inconsistency with the power scaling of the devils. Either way, the Justice Devil's true form was badass, and the paneling leading up to it was just fantastic. Windows cracking down the hallway, muscles bulging out of Yuko. It was an incredibly cinematic sequence like anything else Fujimoto does. My personal favorite panel in this chapter was when the perspective changed to outside of the school, and you could see Yoru and Yuko talking on the inside with the bubbles being inside of the school. I don't know, it just seemed like a classic example of fantastic Fujimoto paneling. I do just want to check in the manga real quick if what Mr. Yoshi predicted is true about the Justice Devil having a blindfold and a scale, just because I don't really remember what it looks like because I read it like 3 times and that was it. Okay, so it doesn't have a scale or a blindfold, but it is blind, so, you know, justice is blind, that kind of thing. So I do think Mr. Yoshi was onto something with that. We were talking about that at the beginning of the video. But that's about it for today's chapter review video. If you like this series, let me know by leaving a like down below and subscribing to my channel. Make sure to stay up to date by hitting the bell button down below right next to the subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I have links to all my social medias down in the description below. Also, make sure to watch my Chainsaw Man Episode 1, Anime Episode 1 review video. I'm so hyped for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week.